Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice. Okay, we have Berlin besieged, and I don't know where Steiner is, but I do know that Bittrich here is trying to counterattack to break through to Berlin and save his Führer. I don't know if the Führer unit is under there. Unfortunately, this, whenever I move it off, it goes away. This, who's commanding in all of this here? Well, Weber here is a Luftwaffe commander, but he has the rank of Field Marshal equivalent, so he's in charge. He'll either get lots and lots of skill bonuses or die quickly, one of the two. Kriegsmarine garrison, Kriegsmarine. Italian division looks like there. Some others. Some Luftwaffe division trying to get reorganized. Some Volksgrenadiers. OB West. I don't specifically see a Führer. Headquarters unit could be there. Well, that's Reich now. That's an overall command. How long until? Okay, 5 hours, so might as well start. Need to attack there. Where's the headquarters? Look up over here. Okay, well. Sort of abandoning those pockets. Okay, we have another garrison unit here. Now, I'll just let you know, I've more or less decided to just leave this pocket here be with all of these garrison units the Japanese either sent in or had spawn here or something, because they're very weak. Just sort of the idea that what's the point of crushing them, and I'm a bit too weak here, and I don't know if I want to keep playing long enough to send the forces from Europe over to clean those up. I'd hope to clean up the Philippines, but right now our main task here is to take down Germany. I still wish to do that. Okay, we might be able to hold there. Good, we're pushing down here. No, we're still losing some provinces here. Don't know whether we're going to save these guys or not. We're trying to invade here. No, we've lost the Battle of Sutton. Okay, this group was too weak. Well, we'll bring in more reinforcements. Let's see, is our headquarters close enough to attach? Yes, good. Moving to Paris to help. Battle for Berlin. No. Yes. I'm losing a few more down here in Greece. I really don't want to lose Vienna. Okay, Hedgehog Defense, and this is the land battle defense version as opposed to the Hedgehog. On ships to kill submarines, okay, 45, well, we're going to keep that up, I guess. Improves defensiveness. Those are basically insta spread about through the forces once you get those techs. And not have to upgrade things, so those are good to still research. Now you start retreating. Don't know if we're going to save any of these guys. Well, they may be able to save them. Okay, well. Okay, here we want to. Oh, it's too far. Well, here. We'll air supply some fuel there. You will move up to Rostock. How's our only 4? Okay, we will rebase to there, but we're gonna shift you guys to here. Fighters rebase. Also move around, those are still organizing up. We're pushing deep in there. Yeah. Looks a little doomed. Taking forever to get ashore. The core headquarters really aren't made to charge ashore, I'm sure. We may lose the Balkans, Greece, and all of that. I don't know. And in the sense that they may become Axis controlled before we take the land. Doing the attack there. Get Bittrich in the flank. Take out Hohenstaufen. So you have supplies there. We gotta keep moving forward. So we're going that way. You go after this. Trying to put pressure because basically, well, okay, we do have one good division now in Vienna here. That's just the decoy stuff. Wonder how well that works on the AI. Oh, waiting for fuel. We'll support the attack then. Doesn't take fuel. More units, more fun. Yeah, that's doomed. Okay, Bulgaria. Let's see, can we we'll get rid of some of these annoying pop-ups here. Add war goal. No. No, they're not. I don't want to turn it over to anybody else right now. This may be a complete mistake. Yes, they're gonna break themselves. Yeah, shattered. You join that fight. Take set. Remove another port from the German control. Major defeat. Where do we? Okay, we won that battle. Well, we won there. We're keeping them bottled up at least. Everybody forward, forward. Keep pushing on that front. Yeah, we're losing down here. Lose the battle, win the war. That's sort of how I'm feeling about that. sure that anybody fell out of the action. We'll get back into it. Yeah. Well, that's nice. Lots of divisions that are basically nothing. 2 still fighting. 2 Italian divisions still fighting in Berlin. Now, mentioning that, they're trying to remember. That's why I'd gone silent. Was it Vinking? Viking? Vinking? However you want to pronounce it. I think Vinking is close, correct. The Waffen-SS division, which is made up of primarily non-Germans, was one of the divisions, and it was a battle group by the time, you know, the remnants of it swung into Berlin to fight for it. Trying to remember. Yeah, that was one of them, I believe. Remember a photograph, I think, of it, one of its command half-tracks in the streets of Berlin destroyed. A photo of that. There were several other sort of Eastern European groups that fought pretty bravely at the end, fighting for Berlin. Their homes were already gone in the east, you know, and there was not much left to lose. That they were fighting for it. Now, I understand that. Now, I don't think this, quite honestly, what's happening here, I don't think this would have happened in reality if the Western Allies, obviously I'm being very aggressive, British and the Americans are being very unaggressive. A little bit that may be that they no longer have a contiguous front with the Germans, but even without that, I still think they're being very, you know, well, they're attacking down here somewhat, but still. Yeah, they're doing something here where they have a contiguous front, but obviously in real life they'd be charging ahead. If this situation would have happened once you breach the Rhine River here, I think the Germans would have just been giving up. There would have been some, and the Hitler Youth were heavily brainwashed, a lot of them, by this. They would have been trying to do their werewolf thing. They did try that for a couple of years after the war. They were still trying to do their guerrilla war. A lot more people, a lot more occupation soldiers died than, shall we say, generally publicly known. I'm not saying they were secret or, you know, no one knew about the deaths, but they weren't being talked about much. Going on. So there would be some of that, but the idea that they were fighting to the last in Berlin, I don't think would have happened with the Western Allies. It happened, I should stop jumping around like that. It happened because it was the Soviets. The Soviets were pushing in. They knew that the Western Allies were pushing from the other side. I don't know what they expected from the Western Allies after the war, and, you know, who are they? You know, the mother who takes care of the children is obviously one of the theys, but another they is, you know, a field marshal, a general, and then obviously you got the private. How hard is he going to fight? What did they expect, you know, after bombing Britain, and they have to know that, you know, the Western occupation, they were treated pretty brutally, so they know that they're not going to be, you know, overly friendly occupation forces, but it wasn't going to be what they feared from the Soviets. Now, like, and we will talk about war crimes here a bit. Basically, my understanding is every single woman, I don't know, female child over 10 in Berlin was raped. That's my understanding. And if it wasn't everyone, it was probably, at least realistically, 60 to 80% of them were raped by various Soviet soldiers. And I say Soviet because I don't mean just Russians. In this series and in my other series, I sometimes speak loosely and casually, but most of the time I use terms very specifically. A lot of times I'll be talking about invading Russia. I'm talking about the general landmass that we're invading, whether it's the Soviets controlled it or the Imperial Russian government or whatever it might be. I'm talking about the land area. Other times I'm talking specifically about the Soviets. Sometimes I'm talking about the Russian people, which is an ethnic group, which the Tatars and the Uzbeks and all these other Eastern peoples, they're not Russians. They're others. Now they're Soviet citizens, and that's sort of what I'm meaning is supposedly, from my understanding, is a lot of the people they sort of let loose were some of these, I don't know if barbaric is the right term, but less friendly towards the West or Western values or whatever you want to call it, people that they let loose in the sort of immediate aftermath. And I'm talking immediate as in 90 days or so. It was a brutal occupation in that phrase, from the end, and I'm talking occupation from the end of the Fuhrer bunkers captured, and the last real, shots were fired. I'm sure there was, somebody pointed a gun out of the window and shot at some point after the battle was over. But, I'm talking immediate after the battle. It was a brutal occupation. I'm sure there were a lot of out-of-hand killings by the Soviet soldiers. And, if there's somebody in an SS uniform, I don't blame them, by this point in the war. That doesn't make that I think they were right to do it, or it's all right to do it, or I approve of doing it. I'm just saying I'm not blaming them for their anger. There's a huge difference between going, yeah, I understand why they did it, and I'm not overly upset with why they did. Killing like an SS soldier, now that's different than killing or raping civilians who may have very well supported the Nazi regime. And we can get into that, and we are talking about doing another German series. And I have mentioned that, like what I'm doing now, I'm not planning on doing a whole lot of stopping the play and talking in the series, but I do plan on talking about things. And I've read more books since the last series and got interesting aspects of stuff to talk about too, but it's a little less education, a little more gameplay is what I'm looking at doing. But specifically, we're talking about something that we didn't talk about in the German series, because I normally don't play a game down to, ultimate defeat like this. If Germany's losing that badly, we just call it, I lost, and let's start a new game. But so, I really think had it been the Western Allies that had surrounded Berlin and attacking Berlin, not that there wouldn't have been a defense, not that there wouldn't have been some die-hard SS types that would have fought, but I think about 80-90% of the soldiers would have been giving up by this time, no matter what orders coming out of generals, Führer, political leaders, Goebbels saying on the radio. They'd just be giving up. That's my appreciation of the situation. It's really different. And I also think they would have given up to the Soviets a lot earlier had, well, we're down to one unit. And now down to none. We've just taken out Berlin. We've won the Battle of Berlin. Okay, well, let's keep moving east. Sort of kind of heading south here. Swinging around Vienna towards here. Where are the close victory provinces? We may end, this may be ending the game, but This is worth 30 points, and that'll be a big hit to whatever the Germans may have had left. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, we won a bunch of things. We've conquered Germany, yes. Yes, now we've lost control of a bunch of provinces because they were turned over to us, and then other forces that were still sitting there captured them, so I understand that. Okay, Polish corridor now happens to us because we now control the Polish corridor. Light armor designs have advanced. Good. Yes, all the various Balkans countries. Lost provinces to Japan. How is this Japan? Those look like Italian Social Republic headquarters. How is this Japan? There's a German pocket of some sort. Okay, well, we regained a lot of these forces and all of these German. Well, we saved some of these guys. Oh, well, those guys are retreating out to our ships, where these guys are sort of not coming into the shore. Well, we're going to lose those, of course, but don't know about... They may disappear. Well, looks like some German occupation forces are still a thing. No, we're not establishing a war goal versus the Italian Social Republic. No, we want to attack this force there. And we can attack there. Some sort of die-hardest types. Foreign troops. Well, this is, like I say, pretty close to how I wanted World War II to end. Not just this game, but historical one. We got a lot of leadership and other things from Berlin. Let's see what kind of... Well, Berlin's quite beat up. I know a few of you were commenting, or one of you was commenting about not being able to repair these, which is known by Black Ice players for some time. It's because some of these bonus buildings, if you will, sort of like what Black Ice is doing in Hearts of Iron 4, with some of their tank factories and such. You could build armaments factories or tank factories enough so that tank units are just free and infantry units are just free. Basically, you build enough of them and you can build an army for free with no IC cost. And so it's an exploit. And someone was commenting on my forum was an event that wasn't one that I had done, but they thought maybe it was Third Reich event, but it wasn't. It was utilize French tank factories, but it actually removed a bunch tank factories and replaced it with a couple of infantry weapons factories. And I think, without knowing for sure, what it was doing was an event that would remove likely damaged or destroyed factories. Now we got these, they're, you know, those are still good, but these aren't. So you remove a few factories that are likely got destroyed in the battle, and instead of you're building tanks with them, you're sort of building other armaments with them. So it's sort of a, even if they were good, replace them. It's not as good, but it sort of represents the idea that you're using occupied factories as opposed to your national factories. And that does make a little bit of sense in my mind. Okay, yeah, we're losing some province to Bulgaria. But without the big heavy German units, these guys aren't going to do very much. A lot of mud, whatever. I'm sure it'll affect us. I'm not saying it won't, but yeah, see, they're going to collapse. Can we just go there now? So, okay. Attack the big bad panzers. They're going to collapse. So had the war, and look at this. I think we would be, well, do we need a unit there? No, the Romanians are trying to break out. It had the, you know, where are the Soviets? Well, shouldn't we see them along the border here? Going after a commerce raider. Well, fellow wargamers, does this seem like a good point to end the series? I sort of think so. Obviously, we could be shifting all of these guys down to take out Hungary, and Croatia declare war on Serbia, which we never actually have. Do that, and yeah, we could go after Japan, and Japan may be even easy pickings, because it's also, you know, the army's sitting down here. Maybe, I don't know. But I sort of kind of get what's the point at this point. I would rather see about starting a new German series. I'll let you know that I'm recording this a week before it's going to be shown, basically. So by this coming weekend, we may have a few episodes getting ready for the starting of the next German series. And again, and I know I've mentioned this a few times, I'm still waiting on getting fiber optics strung to my home. If I can get that done, then there's very likely it's going to happen. I'm sort of hoping it would have already happened by now, but it's still very likely to happen. If it can be done, the biggest bottleneck I have is uploading a video. For some reason, and I don't know why, even when they are dimensionally the same size, at the same same, you know, size on the screen, and so the same, you know, resolution, Hearts of Iron 3 is for, say, a 30-minute period, the largest file size after running through the same file compression of just about any of the games I play for some reason. And I don't know, I don't understand why it is. I've optimized it several times and got things down to where it's doable, but it's worse. Hearts of Iron 4, with all of its graphics, it's smaller. It's about a third or half again smaller. The Baldur's Gate series, and it's the one reason we've been on a hiatus from it, and I'm sort of been waiting for it to get the Vios fiber optics back up and going, to start that up again. But that is one of... No. You go here. Is one of the smaller file sizes per minute shown on the screen. So it's very small. Something like the OOB World War II are fairly small file sizes, so I can do those a little bit easier. So this, for some reason, compared to Hearts of Iron 4 and other things, takes them the longest time to upload. And for a 30-minute episode, it's easily 3+ hours to upload for this. So that's sort of my bottleneck. If I can get that done, maybe, and I'm just saying maybe, we can do, if the numbers are good enough, 2, well, daily or 5 days a week or something, series, a Hearts of Iron 4 and a Hearts of Iron 3, because it's not the playing time. The playing time, I've got that to play, and I enjoy it, and I can do that. And if things get a bit rushed in any one week, I could always cut things down from a 40-minute episode to, because that's roughly what I'm going for here, a 40-minute episode down to a 20-minute episode, and just make sure that it still flows and it's reliably happening. But it's, if I can get the upload going good, that would be good, and I think I can do that. I'd like to do both. I'm going to keep going with Hearts of Iron 4 because the Japanese series is having good viewership. This has fallen off, but Britain was never as popular as Germany. But also, hey, this series is ending, and anybody, it's no longer that exciting, to watch. So I understand why the numbers have been going down to some degree. And also the idea that it's been very unreliable as to when it's going to be shown, and so people, lose interest in the storyline. I understand all that. So we might get it going a bit more if I can get things set up to be able to upload it better, more efficiently. But if not, at least I'm looking at a Germany series of 2 or 3 days a week is what the plan is, if I can't get better going up there. So I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart just for watching. I really appreciate all of you who do. I'm still surprised and shocked that there's that many people interested to watch me play, hear me talk about things. I try to keep the talking within balance. A few of you really don't like, obviously we're talking at the end of the series here, but long pauses and play with a lot of talking. But others like it, and I really think it's a balance question. Those that like it are right to like it. Those that maybe even like it but want the gameplay to keep flowing, well, part of it is keep my thoughts going and sounding intelligent, and trying to play at the same time. Sometimes that gets a bit difficult. That's why the pause. Not that I don't want to keep the gameplay going, but it's sort of a balance question. So I continue to want feedback. If you continue to think I'm going too long on some of the other stuff, let me know. I don't get upset with that. It helps me. I want to know what people are thinking. So that you're interested in listening to me, I'm still very pleased and surprised by it. So thank you very much for that. And now, of course, thank you for liking the videos. It helps the YouTube, I don't know, bots or AIs or whatever to get better exposure for the channel. And of course also helps simply posting comments, questions, suggestions, ideas. Love hearing from you. It helps me get to know the audience. But also sometimes we get off into talking, whether it's about modern politics or about World War II. I enjoy that as well. So please do keep that up. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.